You are watching IGN Live. Now, in 2001, Gothic revolutionized action RPGs. This year, it's celebrating its 25th anniversary with a brand new ground-up remake. Here to tell us about it is studio head Reinhard Police from THQ Nordic. Welcome to IGN Live.
Welcome. Hey.
And welcome to IGN Live to all of you as well. We got some Gothic fans here. So Gothic Remake, it's out in the wild now. What is the fan reaction been like so far?
It's been a while. I mean, it's like Friday. We
Yeah,
had our launch on
been
Friday.
a couple days, yeah.
Yeah, it's super cool. I mean, we were obviously kind of like watching the reception and so on, and all, like it's a big RPG, right? So we are only seeing from like the first third of the game content, and we're seeing every hour like gamers discovering something new and something cool, like some cool stuff we've hidden, some new ways of like solving quests, and some cool ways of like interacting with the AI. Because at the core, I mean, it's a big simulation going on.
So Gothic has a devoted following, many of which I believe are here right now. How would you describe the game to someone who isn't so familiar with it? If they're approaching the Gothic Remake completely new to the franchise.
So we're set out to kind of like make this remake in a way that you don't need to play any of the Gothic games before, and it's the first part of the series anyhow. But we also try to explain the game world and the lore in a way that you are kind of like, if you're new, you will feel right at home when you start. I mean, so the game is at its core an open world RPG. I mean, by today's standards, I mean, the open world is not like the biggest, but it's, I would say, the most immersive and the most alive. That was one of our goals, really, to create an immersive RPG where everything that is kind of like happening in the game world and is a natural way to discover it and to experience it and to find clues. So, for example, it's not a game where you kind of like follow quest marker after quest marker. It's like you really have to listen to the people, get the clues, and then kind of like piece it together, and also develop a natural understanding of the places and the world itself. The game itself features a lot of choices, both in terms of story and also the way you play it. So it's not like you select a character class or something like that. It's everything naturally embedded. So you have to find teachers who teach you a certain skill set. And that skill set, obviously, like learning that costs money and learning points, which you need to earn yourself. And like the money itself, it's not like gold coins or something like that. So it's set in a prison colony, and this prison colony was created to mine this magical ore that the king needs to fight the orcs. So you are put into this prison colony to mine ore. And this ore is obviously also the kind of like the currency in this game world.
And who are we? Who are the player playing?
So you're not a hero even. Like you're a nameless dude who is like not anything special, right? But you can become something special through your journey. So as I said, I mean you're a convict. You're set out to mine ore, but when you get set into the colony. First of all, you get a rough welcoming. So they punch you in the face. They tell you like, well, it's a rough world out there. Just do as you were told, or you would get beaten up. Throughout like the first like hours of the game, you kind of like learn that there are three main factions that all have different objectives. So the first one is the old camp. They're here to mine the ore and deliver it to the king, and exchange it with other stuff they need, like weapons and even women. There's the new camp, which wants to break free and use the ore to blow up this magic barrier. So what I forgot to tell you is like the whole game world is gated by a magic barrier that the magicians created, so nobody can get out of this penal colony. And the third faction is the swamp camp. They are a sect that smoke some stuff and believe in a mysterious god and try to awaken this god, and the god is called the Sleeper. And at first, I mean, you don't know if this Sleeper is even real, but you will find out through your journey if he's real or just like something they make up of.
Well, it's a very cool premise and setup. The original was released in 2001. What do you think about it has resonated with fans, so many years later?
So first of all, I mean, we call the original Gothic classic. I mean, we even did remasters of it on like modern consoles to make it accessible and playable nowadays. I think why we did that was also, although like the remake was coming or is coming, um, was that we felt it's, even for today's standard, it's still a very unique game with a lot of really cool game mechanics that hold up to. For example, I think other than the remake, I think basically no other RPG offers a as deep like world simulation as the original even. So to give you an example, like every NPC in the original had a daily routine going on. Like they had a 24-hour like day-night cycle. They would sleep at night. They would even like go for taking a piss, right? And I mean, we greatly expanded that in the remake. So we expanded everything. So in our game, they even would react to like, let's say if it's raining, they would say like, what the fuck, this shitty rain, like I don't like that. And we expanded the daily routines to like creatures. So they would also have a need system. They would go for food. They would need to drink and stuff like that. And I think so. That's I think the main thing what kept it alive and what kept the community going. That it's so immersive, simulated, and so deep in like what you can experience there.
And what is your relationship to Gothic Classic? Did you play it originally, or did you discover it sometime down the road?
No, I'm a big RPG fan and nerd. I haven't played it on the release day, fortunately, because at the time it needed a very beefy PC. I didn't have that, but like a year later, like the second part was kind of like announced and in the coming phase, and I just like I got excited by articles about that, and I got the first one, and I was super excited. So I became a fan. I was even like doing mods for Gothic 1 and 2. So I got deep down into like all the technicalities. And for a long time, I thought like, I mean, the series was dormant. I was a teenager at the time, so I thought like, well, you know, that was a thing of its time. I mean, it would be cool to work as a game developer in a game like that, but I never thought it could be the actual thing.
Yeah.
And then when the opportunity came, I was just very happy. But that, you know, was just the start of something. I mean, we worked 6 years on that game. And I mean, that's kind of like what you need nowadays to make a good game from the ground up. And I mean, we also built the studio from the ground up. So 6 years ago, we were starting with like 10, 15 people. And now we're a team of like 60 core team members who kind of like managed to deliver this big open world RPG.
So the Gothic series is known to not hold the player's hand too much. How did you approach that in the remake? Was there any sort of desire to tone down the difficulty or make it a friendlier experience for more modern players?
So there was definitely a desire, and I mean, like a lot of people like that tested the game were like, well, you know, this mechanic is not explained. You should explain it. And I'm like, you know, we do tutorials at the very last, and my approach was always, if the game needs tutorials, we've done something wrong, because a game mechanic should be organically explained. I mean, kind of going on this immersive pillar, right? So, you know, we added a climbing mechanic, so it should be explained in the dialogue that tells you, like teaches you about the mechanic, how you can use it as a player. But obviously not in a too gaming way to break the immersion. But in order to kind of like give new players a little bit of possibility to learn the game mechanics in-game more, we added a tutorial book. So, but also this is done in an immersive way. So in the first conversation, like Diego, who is kind of like becoming your guide throughout the game, will say like, hey, I got this book. Maybe you should take a read on this. And in this book are these tutorial things in there that explain all the mechanics. And in terms of difficulty, so first of all, I think we are a bit lucky because these days, players nowadays like difficult games, I think. They like a good challenge if it's not unfair. But also, we felt that we wanted to also appeal to players who just like, you know, to play something without being killed all the time. So we added a much easier difficulty level, which is still challenging, but it has, for example, in this easier difficulty level, we call it novice, you get the first one-handed combat skill already learned, which you would need to earn, and it would take, I think, about 2 hours to learn it in the intended difficulty level, which we call Gothic. And yeah, I mean, as a player, when you start a new game, you can customize even your difficulty level. So you have like things like combat, exploration, and they all have an effect on how you experience the game in the end.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us here at IGN Live. The Gothic Remake is out right now. Go immerse yourself in the world of Gothic once more. We've got plenty more IGN Live ahead, so stick around.